Yo, peace family, what's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC, and we are here in Washington, D.C. Here to check out our brother, Dr. Cornell West, give his speech today. We also here to interview him and ask him the question about reparations. Let's go.
Dimensions of time, of past and present and future, are so intertwined that you must indeed, as my brother noted, have a habitual vision of greatness. And it's hard to keep your focus on moral and spiritual greatness in a moment of spiritual decay and moral decadence. And we are being bombarded every day with that decay and decadence. What do you mean by spiritual decay, my brother West? I mean believing, in fact, that life is fundamentally about financial success and he or she who has the most material toys. That's a sign of spiritual decay. Because it means, in fact, that you might become so obsessed with superficial pleasures you miss out on the deeper joys of life. And American culture is very much a joyless quest for insatiable pleasures. You can get any kind of pleasure you want, titillation and stimulation, and feel good about yourself at the moment, and your soul is still empty and vacuous because joy cuts much deeper than pleasure. And one of the benchmarks of the Christian is to live a life of love such that joy goes hand in hand with that love. And Frankie Beverly is right. There's no joy without. Oh, she's gonna sing the other verse. Sunshine. Oh, that's Richmond. Oh no, that's Frankie from Philadelphia. Yeah. Our musicians, full of wisdom. Full of wisdom. What is more decadence? Ooh, this one is a difficult one. Those who revel in conformity and complacency become cowardly. There you go. Ooh, I won't say that one again. That's right. Those who revel in conformity and complacency end up reinforcing cowardliness. That's why the biblical text says, be not conformed to this world, but transformed by that which is within you. That love that's inside of you, and the joy becomes an extension of that love, and you shall know them, you shall know those Christians by their love.
Yo, peace family, this is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC, and we out here in Washington, D.C. with my brother Valerio Johnson running for council out here in Ward 7. Brother Valerio Johnson, what does Ward 7 mean to you?
It means everything. It's a community that I've served for the last 2+ decades. And I think what Cornell West said today, it's about sacrifice and it's about doing unto others more so that they can have what they need.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And what actually makes you decide to run, for Ward 7?
Actually, to do more. That's our platform. It's called, Brother West said today, these systems don't work for our people.
Right.
And like Jesus said, we got to do the most for the least, the last, and the lost. So service to government is my way of giving back. It is my way of serving and sacrificing so others can have more.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I was actually chopping it up with you out there in the lobby for a brief little second. You was telling me about your reparations package.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So can you give the family a little bit more detail about reparations?
Well, we're still thinking through it. We're the only candidate in this race that had the courage to push forward the idea, and we're blessed and privileged to be in the District of Columbia because Emancipation Day, we're celebrating it today, and we also can follow the lead of Georgetown University, who paid out $27 million to African Americans who built that institution, that university, without labors.
Yeah. And now outside of reparations, what else would you like to see implemented in Ward 7? What other policies, what other tangibles would you like to see implemented for Black Americans in Ward 7?
Right now, across the country, public safety is everything. But in Ward 7, there's a great opportunity to do more around economic development. We want to create more access to jobs, of course, but we want to develop whole communities so that we can strengthen the tax base, we can help people earn more income, and that we could do more for our children. Because if we don't protect the youth, if we don't continue to protect our seniors, what do we have? We have nothing. We don't have a community without our elders, and we don't have a past without our elders, and we don't have a future without our children.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And where can the family go and support you? Do you have a website or anything to go?
It's just simple. It's VJ for ward7.com, VJFORWARD7.com.
And another question real quick. How long you been living in D.C.?
All my life, man. I am a fourth generation Washingtonian.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And what's your outside of Johnson? Because what we like to do is we do house names. I represent the Stewarts, the Evans, the Millers, the Halls.
All right.
It's a thing we got. As far as Black Americans, we like to what houses you represent. Can you let the family know what houses you represent?
Houses meaning
last names.
Johnson. Johnson is my grandfather's adopted name, but we are Jenkins in blood.
Jenkins in blood.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, it's Sonny G, my brother Valerio Johnson out here in Washington, D.C. Y'all make sure y'all go support him. Yeah. Talk about Cornell. I know he got on his platform. He got reparations. It's not a lot of people
talking about it.
So, we were FRCC, Florida Reparations Compliance Committee, part of a larger, conglomerate Reparations Compliance Committee. We just travel all across the country.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we trying to. The reparations is
get your information.
it's that we not budging off of that. You know what I mean? This 2024 election, they giving money to the Ukrainians, to the Afghanians. They sending money over here, over there, but they don't got no money for Black Americans reparations. So man, they send us a child of slavery. We not really messing with that.
Give me the name of your group again
For the Reparations Compliance Committee. Matter of fact, we really got the contact info
Okay.
on the back of that.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bro.
All right, man.
Definitely.
Y'all be safe.
Y'all be
out
cool,
here,
man. You too, man. Yo, peace, family. What's going down? It's your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We here on Howard University campus, chopping it up with my brother Divine. Brother Divine, can you just tell us what does Howard University mean to you?
For me, it seemed like a beacon for like Black people who like have a mindset that they want to like better themselves and like make it out and actually like make a name for themselves in the world, especially in America, as you know, is like just pertains for like the white man to succeed and all that. And I feel like with Howard, like really like broaden ourselves and show us that we're great.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And it's a huge movement going on right now and across the country. For reparations for the descendants of chattel slavery. Can you just give us a little bit of insight and let us know how important it is for Black Americans to get reparations?
It's very important, especially because like they gave reparations for like Native Americans because what they did to their country, and I feel like they brought us over here against our will, and we basically built this country. They say we was gonna get like acre and a mill. We never got anything. So I feel like we should get at least something. Like you don't have to give us like a paycheck every year, or at least like the people who want to go to college. Like how hard it is to be a Black person to go to college coming from like the hood. you got no one who can pay for you, and you're first person in college, like you need some money to like get there. I feel like you should get like scholarships or like a discount in tuition if you're trying to like better yourself. Because they think like we just lazy, but if we're trying to like go out there and do something, they're not trying to help us. So like, what's the point of us calling us lazy? We're trying to do something, but you're not trying to help us.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Hey man, y'all hear that from my little brother Divine, man. Sonny G, FRCC signing out. Appreciate that, Divine.
By their love and by their joy, not their pleasure and their cowardliness. And the history of black people. One of the reasons why we are such a grand and world historical people, there's nobody like black folk in terms of being loved so consistently and chronically for 400 years and yet teach the world so much about love. Why is it that black people didn't form a black version of the Ku Klux Klan when they were hated and terrorized and traumatized? When the American given puts pen to paper and writes the history and decline of the American empire, they're going to have to come to terms with how could these folk be so thoroughly terrorized and traumatized, and yet keep not just talking about love, not just lifting up love, but actually embodying and enacting love in their deeds, and then produce so much joy in the face of such overwhelming sadness and sorrow. And that's not a function of skin pigmentation. It's the function of a great African people brought here on slave ships and taken to slave auctions and put on slave plantations, and somehow so many of them falling in love with a Palestinian Jew of swarthy complexion named Jesus that told them to keep your eye on moral and spiritual greatness and always recognize that no matter how much organized greed, no matter how much institutional hatred, no matter how much brutalized indifference toward your plight, that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. There's been 70 empires going back to the African civilization of the history of the species. America's number 68. And America is the only empire in the history of the species that understood itself then and now as innocent. There's never been a nation to move so quickly from innocence to corruption without a mediating stage of maturity. There's been a whole host of empires that are ugly because the species has been so ugly. We are a wretched species. Hegel said history is a slaughterhouse. Edwin Gibbons said history is a little more. The crimes and follies and misfortune of humankind registered on paper. They're also wonderful along with our wretchedness, but most of human history is a history of domination and oppression and exploitation and subjugation and degradation. Most of human history is a history of envy and resentment and hatred and fear. And the challenge is always, where's the love? Where's the joy that creates moments of interruption, moments of disruption, moments of eruption? Call it Kairos moments. Those are the moments of meaningful life instances that hold back the hatred, hold back the greed, hold back the envy.
how are you? I'm sorry, I just saw on your flyer, the flag. It's African American Heritage flag, right?
Yeah, Black American Heritage flag.
Okay, so why black instead of African American?
That's what it's called. That's what the name. You read the rallying point?
I hate to be very bad.
From Melvin Charles, Jackson. Those are the actual two creators of the Black American Heritage flag, Melvin Charles and T. Jackson. So, you know, if you read the rallying point, like he really like break it down, like he like was going to parades and stuff like that and was seeing different people, you know, Italians having their own flag, going to different parades and stuff like that. He was like, man, Black Americans don't got their flag. So, you know, he created this in 1967, you know, to really, you know, try to give us some honor and stuff like that. Because at that time, a lot of Black Americans didn't feel comfortable waving the American flag. So he just wanted us to, you know, have something to be prideful about, you know what I mean?
Are you just here to like educate Howard students on the flag? Or?
No, we actually here to educate people about reparations. We for the Reparations Compliance Committee. So we drove up here from Florida, you know, to Washington, D.C. We checked out Cornell West. He's like a couple hours ago, he was speaking at the
Chapel.
The chapel. Yeah. He the only one that got reparations on his platform. Trump ain't talking about it, Biden ain't talking about it. And it's a non-negotiable for us in 2024. You know what I mean? Like they giving money to Ukrainians, Afghans, and billionaire. You know, I trace my lineage all the way back, you know, to 1730, coming out of the Maddox plantation. My great-grandmother, my fourth great-grandmother was a slave for 38 years. And she was raped 5 times by the slave master. You know, I done my ancestry. I see my tree. You know, so it's like a non-negotiable. You know, so we all got our different stories. We tracing our lineage. You know, tying us back to the specific harms. You know, so yeah, it's about that time, and they can't just keep playing with us. You know, saying, you know, we ain't got it, but we giving $1 billion to Ukraine, and we gave the Italians reparations. We gave the Native Americans, Japanese, everybody got reparations for Black Americans. We built this country. We in Washington D.C. Washington D.C. was built by slaves. Benjamin Banneker, it was, you know, it's time for them to really, you know, compensate and give us that debt that's owed. It's an old debt. Yeah. We speak about it on the YouTube. We got the YouTube channel.
Sorry, I just saw your flyer.
No, it's cool. But yeah, we mainly pushing. You know, the 6. We got here pushing the 6 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of that.
You got it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then we got, you know, the people that was actually pushing reparations. You know, everybody like to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? But every time they talk about him, it's about white kids and black kids holding hands and loving and hugging. But Martin Luther King's last speech, it's called the other speech. He said, this time when we come to the White House, we coming for our check. Don't nobody want to talk about that Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? So we got Martin Luther King on there, Callie House. She was like one of the first ones to really pick up, you know, the reparations movement. We got Johnny Cochran, you know what I'm saying, in 2000, put together a reparations team. Then he mysteriously passed away. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff, man. But yeah, now this definitely for you.
Yes.
Where your family from?
I'm from California.
You from California? That's what's up. What made you come to Howard? Have you traced your lineage?
I have.
You haven't? You gotta trace your lineage. Yeah, I think you get like 2 weeks free on Ancestry.com. You know, put your name in there, your mom name, your dad name is going to build your tree. You want to see the stories, who married who, what happened, where your people migrated from. Is, you know what I mean? You want to really get connected. You know what I mean? And once you get connected to your story, you're going to feel overwhelming about this whole reparations conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got people who, you know, live in California now. People, we all trace our lineage. They not with us today, but a lot of them, you know, got ran up off their land in Texas and Louisiana and migrated to, you know, it's a lot, man. So,
Well, my dad's originally from the South.
yeah. A lot of us, my family from Virginia, South Carolina. And my mom's side, it was on the Maddox plantation in South Carolina. My dad's side, coming out of the Picture plantation in South Carolina. Yeah. I mean Virginia, my mom's side Virginia, my dad's side South Carolina. Jazz, it's nice to meet you, Jazz, man. Your food cold, man. But yeah, definitely Tracy. Here at the Howard University. I'm out here with my young brother Amari. Brother Amari, what does the Howard University experience mean to you?
It's good just seeing other people of color around me. In high school, I went to a predominantly white high school, so I just wanted to get that experience where I could, feel comfortable and be myself. This is actually my first semester as a freshman, so I started in January, and it's been a good experience so far. Like I said, just seeing people just like me you can be real comfortable just being yourself and interacting with people. It's making good connections, so that's something I really appreciate here. This is good vibes, good energy, and I like the area too. DC is cool, so it's been pretty good so far.
That's a fact. And I was just, chopping up with you, for a few minutes. And you was letting me know your family from Michigan, around the Detroit area and stuff like that. I got family from the Detroit areas too, Inkster. I got some family from Schoolcraft, so I got a lot of family, from Detroit. With that being said, like it's a reparations movement going on, in Detroit, and they actually got a reparations task force, and they're having a lot of pushback, up there, in Detroit, in the Detroit area. How important is it for Black Americans, descendants of chattel slavery, to get reparations?
I think it's important. Of course, it's put us back a lot, in time, from, just having to start from nothing essentially versus, white people, they've been up top for a while. So I think it's important that we kind of get what we made, because we made America what it is. A lot of landmarks here in DC were built by slaves. So I think it's important that we sort of get those things back. It's not fair that we did a lot of the work and they, essentially get the credit for it. So it's definitely important for us to, be entitled to some of those things, get those things back, and, build from that.
That's a fact. And we were just talking to you. I got one more question. We was chopping it up with you about, being a Black American and being down here at Howard. Like, and we know historically, like, Howard is predominantly a Black American HBCU, right? And, we kind of see like the dynamic, kind of change and stuff like that. And like a lot of us is kind of privy, to what goes on here through the social media, like the African Takeover Day. When we going to get a Black American Takeover Day? We got our own flag. We got the Black American Heritage Flag, 1967. Melvin Charles, Gleason T. Jackson created it specifically for us. He was tired of going to parades, seeing everybody wave their flag, being happy and, doing their thing. When can we get a Black American Heritage Flag Day at Howard?
Hopefully soon. I guess that's definitely something that, should happen. I guess if students push for it, faculty and staff, they might, hear out for it. But yeah, that's definitely something that should happen. It should definitely put the flag up. I haven't seen that flag up around here before, so but it's definitely something that should be commemorated and be talked about. So hopefully soon.
Facts. Definitely looking forward to that, man. It's Major Brother Sonny G with my brother Amari signing out.
You're wrestling with despair. That just means you're sensitive to the world. He or she who has never despaired has never lived. But you just don't allow it to have the last word. So it is with evil. Oh my God, white supremacy is still around. get off the crack pipe. You surprised? Oh, my boss called me the N-word. Oh my God, that's a major crisis. Of course, you're living in a white supremacist society. You think it shouldn't come to your house, but come to somebody else's house? Police brutalizing, police murdering folk on the other side of town, and they come to your side of town, then you got a crisis. Hey! Too narrow. You got to already be able to keep track of the least of these. You know the forms of evil are at work, not just in the institutions and structures and all of their various forms. It's inside of us. It's in our souls. It's in our hearts. We got to get up every day and fight it. That's what it means for Christians to die daily. And what really means to die, if we're going to pass on this great tradition to our precious young folk. It's what we heard in that biblical text this morning. Be not afraid. Be not afraid. The old folk used to say, I'd rather be dead than afraid. I'd rather be a corpse than a coward. You can't have a great people when cowardliness becomes so pervasive that you become an echo rather than a voice. Thank God the Johnson brothers, when they wrote the anthem, didn't say, lift every echo. Wouldn't have ever had the great voices. Wouldn't have had jazz musicians. Wouldn't have had blues women. Wouldn't have had the great scientists. You wouldn't have had the leaders that come out of Howard and Morehouse and other places. No, because you have to have courage, and courage is the enabling virtue of all the other virtues. And no matter what you say and talk, if you're not willing to take the hits, if you're not willing to be pushed against the grain, if you're not willing to take a risk, if you're not willing to cut against the grain, if you're not willing to be in the world but not of the world, then you're not serious about following Jesus. We've got too many folk these days who want to be on Pontius Pilate's payroll and still say they following Jesus. Come on. That's hard. Now, I believe in the God that all things are possible, so I believe in the mystery of it all. But I don't make any kind of program on folk who are still on different plantations and want to act as if they're free. Come on. I love Shirley Chisholm's slogan. I'm unbought and I'm unbossed. That's all musicians. They may have to pay for the clubs, they may have to have the white folk make the money, but when they open their voices and play their horns, they were free enough and you can feel that freedom, and that's why we go back to them. Where is the freedom? You can't be free if you're cowardly. And you can't speak the truth if you're still on folks' plantations. Yes, sir. That's one of the saddest features of our day. Very, very sad. You see genocide in Gaza. Oh, there once was a time when black people were the moral conscience of America. If we saw it in South Africa, if we had seen it in Germany in the 30s when Du Bois and others raised their voices against genocide, when we saw it in Belgian Congo, we saw it in the Armenians, it was black voices at the center of it. Why? Because moral and spiritual greatness has to do with the truth, and the condition of truth is to allow suffering to speak, no matter whose suffering it is, no matter what color or gender or sexual orientation or national identity. And now you put the camera in front of so many black spokesmen these days to talk about Gaza, they can hardly get their word out. Because they're scared. They're intimidated. Oh yes. Now if they really don't believe it, then that's fine. We can have an argument about it. Just call it massive massacres. Just call it war crimes. And just like mass incarceration, a crime against humanity. We won't argue just over the word. We talk about the human beings who are dealing with that kind of unbelievable suffering. 15,000 children killed in a matter of months, and we can hardly get black spokesmen to raise their voices. Ella Baker and Fannie Lou Hamer turn over in the grave. Malcolm X wonders, what did I do? Did I live in vain? Did I pass on anything to these people? My God. I'm not talking about anybody in this room. I know all of y'all are courageous and visionary and sacrificial. But somebody out there I'm talking to. My dear brother Al Sharpton, I love that brother to death. I'll take a bullet for him. Not in the heart. I ain't take the heart, that's for mama. I take it in the arm. I heard my dear brother Al Sharpton said that one of these funerals that he spoke, and he's always there at the funerals. I love that brother because he shows up in that sense, even the disagreements I have with him. That brother stepped up in one of those sermons, one of the funerals he gave, one of the eulogies in the sermon, you all might remember. And he said, I'm going to tell you all what Martin Luther King Jr. saw when he was on the mountaintop. I was listening, I said, dang, I got the edge of my couch. Brother, what did he see? He saw Barack Obama and Kamala Harris. I said, Al, quit lying. We can love Barack, we can love Sister Kamala, no, that's our sister. But that's not what he saw. But Brother West, what did he see? I don't know what he saw, but he didn't see that. If he saw anything, he's looking at the plight of the least of these. He's looking in the hood. He's looking at all the empty souls wrestling with not enough love and care. He's looking at the collapse of family and community shot through with marketized sensibilities. He's looking for young folk who are overwhelmed with guns and terrors. He's looking at the schools where they have more police than they have nurses and counselors. He's looking at working people trying to gain access to benefits and health care, trying to gain access to some sense of dignity in a country where 3 individuals have wealth equivalent to 50% of the country. 160 million fellow citizens have wealth equivalent to 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's like Keith Sweat moment. Something just ain't right. 1% of the population have 90% of the wealth. That's what Martin's looking at. That's the lens through which he's looking at the world. How come? Because he wanted to be a Christian. And he wanted to follow Jesus into that temple. That temple was the largest edifice east of Rome, protected by 300 Roman imperial troops. And his disciples, ragtag team, pulled back and he went in anyway. What did he do in that temple? He ran out to money changers. And that's why they put him on the cross as a criminal. Cross reserved for criminals. Cruciform. What does it mean to follow Jesus? Pick up your cross, deny yourself, and follow me. Must Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free? No, there's a cross for everyone. And there's a cross for me. There's no crown without the cross. There's no kingdom without service to the least of these. That's the great legacy of black folk. In the music, in the stylization of space and time, having the freedom, the courage to be oneself, and then to raise one's voice in such a way that it casts a spotlight on those who are suffering, and do it with a smile and style and memories of those who came before, so that the landmark and the question mark generate new greatness, new genius, new courage. Young brothers and sisters, my precious ones, never ever forget that you come from a great people. Never ever forget. There's a society that might teach you that with yourself, that love is revolutionary. A society that might terrorize your heart, mind, and soul, that you can be free to traumatize you in so many different ways, that you can choose to be a healer rather than a hurter. Oh, what a great tradition. Let us work let us live, let us sacrifice as we move forward. God bless you. My brother.
We're sorry.
Dr. Cornel.
Thank you.
My brother does too. We drove from all the way from Florida.
You're the only candidate with reparations on your
That's
ballot.
true.
We wanted to
That's
just
true.
make sure we amplify that, because we got a lot of people that want to support you.
But take my number though, because it might be difficult. Okay, but let's just knock it out right quick. It's 617. One more six. There you go.
Okay, perfect.
We're gonna knock this out right quick because they all the way from Florida.
Yeah. Hey, peace, family. What's going on? This is your brother, Sonny G. I'm here with the legendary brother, Dr. Cornell West. Dr. Cornell West, you gave an immaculate speech. And we love it. We drove all the way from Florida to support you.
No, but brother, I want to salute you and your brother for doing that. I saw you on the front row. I could feel your spirit. This brother got a special spirit. But I know you come here to talk about reparations. I've been part of the reparations movement for 40 years, sat at the foot of Queen Mother Moore and Randall Robinson, all the way through with those who are committed to truth and justice when it comes to the white supremacists, enslavement of dignified African peoples, and how we fighting back. That's why reparations is a crucial part of not just the campaign, but it's a crucial part of any serious movement that wants to keep in check with the rich black humanity, creativity, the rich African humanity and creativity of who we are. But we're going to have a longer one because we're on the move right now, but y'all come all the way to historic Howard.
Get everything that you got coming to you. Yeah, a lot of great things are happening for you. A lot of great things for your benefit. Travel to your dreams, get into them. Young, get run that checkup. It's our world, you living it. Using my words and the passion, invoke it. Got different ways of how I'm gonna approach it. One thing about me, I never could be hopeless. One thing about me, I'ma keep it sincere. Knowing these folk can't see my vision or my mission, they still get hit by the wave. Find encouragement in the words that I say. I'm the one that's been displayed. Young, get run that checkup. I'm up now and that's up. Young, get run that checkup. It's OMG Banco. Appreciate y'all.
He be doing this.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, that was dope, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Give a shout out. Give your name and stuff on here one more time.
OMG Banco. OMG. Oh my God. Oh my God. They all mean the same thing. And Banco. OMG Banco. And don't forget, 360 creativity saves lives. For sure. Love y'all.
All right.
Yo, what's going down? Peace, family. This is your brother, Sonny G, Washington, D.C. at the Howard University with my brother Q and my young brother YCM. Here, chopping it up. What does the Howard University mean to y'all?
Culture for me that's really one word response, just culture. It's a culture shock for people who are not from here. I know a lot of people, I'm from the South, a lot of people come from the South, Maryland, Virginia, just any area where you don't see that culture every single day, whether it's your high school, your middle school, coming here is kind of the shock that you really need to wake up. I feel like it prepares you for the real world. Understand everybody's kind of competing for the same thing, same end goal, which is success. A lot of people are chasing money. So you gotta climb a ladder, and everybody else climbing that same ladder too.
That's a fact. That's a fact. What about you, fam?
No, over here I'll say Howard really means the Mecca. What the Mecca means is really diversity in the black community. You have people from Jamaica, from the Caribbean, from Africa, from DC, from Florida, from Atlanta, all around the whole world. So just the Mecca, really the diversity and the whole global aspects of the black community.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And Q, we chopped it up for a little second. Let you know, we here with the FRCC, for the Reparations Compliance Committee. We down here to push, reparations. We had a chance to talk to Cornell West. He's the only one of the candidates that's running for presidency outside of, Trump and Biden that's really trying to give tangibles reparations for black Americans. We see that they give money to the Ukrainians, they give money to the Afghanians, they got billions of dollars to give everybody except for black Americans, descendants of child slavery who built this country. How important is it for black Americans to get reparations?
Extremely. I think that's honestly our way out. It's our way to success. We need just the whole entire past, all of our history leads up to this. So it's really time for change, honestly. We've had the same thing for the last 5-6 years. I've been a teenager and been able to actually understand what's going on. And I don't see much change in terms of a positive way. I feel like the only positive thing we can really do is continue to bond with each other. But other than that, until we get reparations, we're not gonna move forward.
That's a fact. You cooking. What about you, bro?
I feel like being at a HBCU, being at Howard specifically, I see the black community coming together, but I don't see this on a global scale. I don't see this around the world. And I feel like as a black community, we need to all come together, support each other, and push towards reparations as a whole.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, man, shout out to my young brothers, Q. YMC, we out.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right, Yo, peace, family. What's going down? This is your brother Sonny G, and we out here at the Civil War, the Civil Rights and Beyond statue made by Black American sculptor Ed Hamilton to commemorate 209,145 Black American Union soldiers who fought in the Civil War. Y'all check it out. Yo, peace, family. What's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC, and we are out here today in Washington, D.C. Here to bring the message. You already know what we doing. The 6 points. You feel me? And we're going to have some special guests later on in the episode that you're going to check out. We here to stomp down. Let's go.
chili bowl, get it in, Jack. Cause it's sunny, chili. You already know. For the soil, you know what we doing. Keep it popping.
$1,000 in imprisonment up to 5 years. I suspect that the word nigga would disappear within 6 months or a year. The Negro has to be made culturally cool again. And the only way to do that is by not branding and promoting. Just save the Negro.
Oh, cuz.
Hey, bro, I see it. I know what
Yo, peace. What's going down, family? This is your brother Sonny G, FRCC. We out here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration right now. We got a lot of good speakers, you know, making sure that we speaking on reparations, lineage base, standing on ancestor and bloodline business. You know, it's real important. We standing at the same steps that Martin Luther King stood at 61 years ago when he said, "I have a dream." Right now in 2024, we are those same descendants that are standing on that business that he was talking about, and we coming to get our check. This is your brother Sonny G. We out here at the Save the Negro, Washington, D.C. We got my sister Don. Y'all know she one of my favorite people on the Twitter. Sister Don, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
It means a time for us to come out and, you know, really just exploit the irony of the Black American Negro freedmen still paying taxes in 2024. So we out here.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And what does reparations mean to you?
Reparations to me means direct cash payments, land, and the 6 points that Secure the Tribe talks about, and also a freedmen's agency.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, Sonny G, Don Page signing out.
Yeah, right there.
All right, yo, peace, family. What's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We out here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration. We got my sister Val. Sister Val, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
This demonstration means a lot to us. We're out here for our reparations. We want to put out the information to everybody in our lineage that we are seeking reparations, and to educate them, especially your 6 points. We want to get that out there, why we're owed, and yeah, all of that. We just want the information out there right now. Thank you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's my sister Val. We out here. Say the Negro. Yo, peace, family. What's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC out here in Washington, D.C. with my brother Muko. My brother Muko killed it up on stage, man. Y'all had to be here to see it. Brother Muko, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
Man, this Negro demonstration means to me exactly what I said on stage. Race classification is only in place to practice racism, white supremacy. We the victims of it, and we here to dismantle racism, white supremacy, and begin a system of justice. 2 guarantees, guaranteeing that no one is ever mistreated or harmed, and guaranteeing whoever need the most constructive help, get the most constructive help, and then everyone else. And in that case, it is the American freedmen, Negro, ADOS. Hey, we all victims of racism, white supremacy over here. And that's all we claiming. Peace.
That's a fact. Hey, Sonny G, brother Muko, signing out. Yes, sir. Yo, peace, family. What's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We out here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration. We got my brother Talent. Brother Talent put on a phenomenal event for the family. Yo, brother Talent, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
I mean, it means that we will not be erased. It means that we know that we are owed, and y'all not gonna play the name changes to make sure that y'all try to get away from that debt that's owed to the descendants of those enslaved in the United States. So we here.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And how do you like the demonstration so far?
I think it was so hot that the ancestors had to drop a little bit of rain. So, we got to make sure we get the blessings from the ancestors. But it's beautiful, man. It's all about making sure we get as many minds, as many bodies as we can in one location to continue to push that effort out, that we see that we are old. We know that we are old. We got the information and we got the collective energy to push forward.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And one more question. How important is it for us to get reparations? The Black American, the American Negro. How important is it for us to receive our just due?
Well, it's important because it's a debt owed, right? Anybody that's owed something, they want to make sure that they get what they're owed. So because our ancestors did not get what they were owed, that means that debt falls upon us to collect. Right? If I were to pass away and I owe the government something, they're going to put that on my wife or put that on my children. So we want to make sure that the government gives us what I owed. And then from a larger standpoint, it's going to make America a better place. We talk about the untapped greatness and the often robbed greatness of our communities that have not been fully given the opportunity to excel themselves to make this country as great as it can be because it's missing the footprint of the Black American Negro. So we believe that it's important because it'll make this country and our livelihoods a better experience in the world.
That's a fact. Hey, it's your brother Sonny G, my brother Talent, man. Hey, man, shout out to my brother Talent. He put on a phenomenal event, y'all.
Shout out to Sonny, Mark from the soybean in the building. We outside. They hit that road. They pulled up.
You know what I'm saying? Signing out.
State to state with us,
Yes, sir. Yo, peace family, what's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We out here in Washington, D.C. with my sister Rasan. You already know how she get down and give it up. Sister Son, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
I mean, it's our life, right? I'm thankful that everybody came out here to the D.C. area to represent. We got to save the Negro. We got to save our whole ethnicity. We're not about anything except specifying who we are, what we need to do as a collective. The collective has come. It's a blessing to meet everybody in person, to see all of our screen names are here. I just say, everybody stomp your ground in your state. Have a Save the Negro rally at your state house in every single state, please. It's not enough just to do it here at the nation's capital. Your state house, your local politics is where it matters. That's it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And Sister Son, what does reparations mean to you?
Reparations means exactly what it says. If you're talking about the state level, we're talking about atonement. We're talking about the federal level, we're talking about reparative justice, and reparations comes in multiple forms, family. Don't get it wrong. Yes, we want our check, but a check is not all that we are demanding. We want transformational policies that protect us until we don't exist ever again. In natural history, in old history, in current history, and when we leave here, we still want our protections. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to continue to fight, and that's what reparations mean. It means reparative justice for our entire family, state, local, and federal.
Hey, that's a fact. Hey, man, it's Sonny G, FRCC. Sister Son, we outside with it. Yo, peace family, what's going down? It's your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We out here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration. I got my brother Black Majority. Brother Black Majority, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
Oh man, that's a really good question. So shout out to the organizer, New Negro, for putting it together. That's going to be my first words when I go on stage. It means that the collective is really starting to gel. Even with everything that's been going on for the past few years, we are finally coming together, and it's different people from different organizations and different terms that are willing to come together and work together. And I feel like there's a lot of light and a lot of good energy, positive energy in what we're doing here today.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And Brother Black Majority, what does reparations mean to you?
Ooh, reparations means we can turn the page, finally turn the page in this chapter that we've been stuck in, intentionally so, of course, and then we can start the building and rebuilding and reconstruction 2.0 process. So it's extremely important for us to get reparations. Reparations is a debt that's owed, and we won't stop until we get it.
Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, brother Sonny G, my brother Black Majority, we out here outside with it. Say the Negro. Yo, peace family, what's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We down here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration. We got my brother Isaiah Washington in the building. Brother Isaiah, What does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
Well, man, actually for me, it's really powerful, Sonny, because I only know you guys from the app. And I've been saying lately, like, you know what? I'm tired of the app. It's time to go outside. I don't care where we go, how we do it, when we do it, where we do it. It's time to go outside. So we're outside. And like I said, my little words, I said that, 8 months ago, I was African American. And before that, I was black. And before that, I was just black, but I don't remember ever being called a Negro unless my grandmother was mad at me, because I remember that my grandmother would use Negro like a pejorative. Yeah. It's like if she called you a Negro or a trifling nigger, it was almost like Negro and trifling nigger was the same pejorative. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? But that was wrong. But I could understand where she was coming from because she was born, maybe 1905, 1908. So, that's less than, 8 years of the turn of the century, 1899. So to be a Negro was, for her, that she was suffering under the badges of slavery. To be called a Negro for her and her mother, that's the last thing they wanted to be called because they remember my great-grandmother was a slave. That's right? Was born in 1849, right? So, but here we are, right? For me, Negro is on my birth certificate, but Negro is black, right? Black is Negro, but unfortunately, not exactly according to the OMB, because now we got 62 variations of black, where they flatten it out. So it's important for us to be Negroes, important for us to be Freeman, Negro, Freeman, and it's the same. Yeah. So it's good to be here to recognize all the scholarship, all you guys have been putting down, Save the Tribe, the indigenous people, which I know I do have Washita people in my bloodline that were already here. Yeah. But I had to pick one. I had to pick one, I had to pick one. We had to pick one so we could get a bigger conversation outside the app. And now Talent has been on national radio talking to 15 million people like 4 times. Right. So I couldn't pick everybody, but if you still want to talk to Dominique DePrima, that door is open. Camilla Moore wasn't talking to her until I brought Pamela, Denise Long, and Rashid, and now you got access to 400,000 people in LA and syndicated 15 million people to hear what you just said. Yeah. And you need to do the show. Yeah. And it's called Freeman Friday on KBLA, Tavis Smiley's radio show. Okay. Because people need to hear your voice as well. Yeah. But that's why I wanted to focus on those two, and then so everybody else can come through. You can't bring 25 people in and then expect to really get some clarity on things. But I brought in 2, then we get 2 more, and now it's Freeman Friday on a syndicated radio show, so I'm happy that I was able to facilitate that.
That's a fact. Hey, Brother Isaiah, let me ask you one more question. How important, because, I talk to you all the time on Twitter Spaces. Yeah. How important is it for us to go outside?
We just have to. Now, some will say this is a tourist trap. It is. This is not actually the best avenue, but people stop and listen. Right. It doesn't matter. Reach one, teach one. Yeah. And they're less melanated people. They see the shirts. Yeah. They see the flag. Yeah. Now they can put it together themselves. Yeah. They hear the word Negro, which they think, a lot of less melanated people think Negro. I can't say that. Yeah. But today, they're going, wait a minute. Negro, I can say that? That's okay? Yes, I am a Negro. That's what it is. And it's okay, right? Yeah. Right? Exactly.
Well, I got one more question for you, Brother Isaiah. How important is it for us to get reparations?
It has to happen. And the reason I got into this conversation is because of all the money going to Ukraine. Yeah. Nothing against the people of Ukraine. I understand it. I get it. But nobody's dropping bombs on us here. That's a fact. Right? We're still in pain. Our people still have to deal with harms that's been unaddressed. Yeah. So it's not important. It just has to happen. Yeah. Or else. And people go, well, what else? You vote. You deal with these immigrants on your own. Yeah. Because we are the warrior class. Yeah. So ain't no racists, no white supremacists, no Ukrainian coming to the black neighborhood. Yeah. Okay? I'm gonna say that again. It ain't no white supremacists, ain't no KKK, ain't no cartel coming into a black neighborhood to do anything negative. Matter of fact, once we understand who we are and how we have to stand together with this for reparations, I understand that y'all gonna have to give us not just a promise, but a guarantee and start talking about that. Right. Trump's gonna have to start talking about that before August. Yep. That's why I push Mark. He knows that when he gets out of that courtroom and he's gonna beat that case, When you go back outside, when you come to Chicago, you have to be talking about reparations, or you're not going to get that black vote. Because we're not voting for the Democrats. We just can't. Obviously, with their behavior recently in the last 4 years, we just can't. There's no reason to vote. And while I've been saying to everybody in the space is like, I dragged Pastor Scott. It's like, dude, stop gatekeeping. Well, you don't understand. No, you don't understand timing, motherfucker. We got to tell now, we had less than 8 months. And the people need to hear what are they voting for, because we're not hearing about your policy. We're hearing about 2025 with the Republicans, but we don't know them. We know you. You are the one that promises made, promises kept. We saw you do that. We know the media is turning you into a bastard. We know that. I lived in New York. I know that. We know the 94 crime bill is bad. I am a refugee of the 94 crime bill. When I left, I fled Brooklyn 28 years ago. We know that's bad, 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 bad. We don't have to have any more scholarship on where the Democrats started with the KK. It's 2024. Let's talk about policy. Let's talk about party right now. Okay, Trump, you're MAGA. But you know there's got problems with people that look at you as a king and want a monarchy and just need to be led because they fled. They need to be led because they fled. All they know how to do is run. We don't run. So you need to start talking to us, people that's been here, right? And the way we do that is get up here and start talking about what you started with, even with. It's a start, but you had the wrong people doing it. Jaron Smith and Javon Smith and Jaron whatever and Pastor Scott, they're not Dr. Darity. And if Dr. Darity is not going to come out, then you need to talk about it. Then Don Page needs to talk about it. Rasheed Littlejohn need to talk about it. There's other people out here that understand how the Treasury can handle that $14 trillion. And we know you have it. Why do we know you have it? Because we watch you send it to Palestine. We watch it $3.5 billion go to Israel. I've never been to Israel. Have you? I've never been to Pakistan, Afghanistan. Have you seen heroin growing anywhere in America? Poppy seeds? But we know that the military, I know that it's the biggest drug cartel in the world. We know this. This is not conspiracy theory. So the money is coming from somewhere, Mike Johnson. And I've been trying to get Paris Denard and Attorney Keenan Keller to come out here. They won't. You say, wait till after the primary is over. I went to Myrtle Beach. I talked to people that wasn't even gonna vote. I'm talking about rich white people. I know by going to Myrtle Beach, I helped him win South Carolina. Even when you had Marcel, who didn't want to sit with the GOP, I did. They voted. And what happened? He won South Carolina. He wasn't gonna run it because Nikki was shot. But I was there. I went outside. So if I can go outside, I'm not expecting everybody to just get on a plane and go anywhere. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm blessed for. But we have to continue. The next time it's time to go outside, make sure you get there, because during the civil rights movement, people came here to hear the hyperbole. It was filled because the stakes were higher. Police brutality was brutal. The South was brutal. The lynching was brutal. The water hoses was brutal. So we don't have that now. But we do have Dexter Reeds. We do have George Floyd's. We do have other incidents that, no matter what their background were, we had to watch them do some incredible deaths, extrajudicial deaths that we don't see that happen to everybody else. And we don't even see you coming outside for Laken Riley. So what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? I don't think it's really bigotry. I think it's this laziness on both sides. You gotta go outside. You have to. I don't if it's 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, or 140,000. We're here. I would love to chop it up with
Yo, peace family, what's going down? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC, and we out here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration. We got Bear Arms in the building. You know what I mean? Bear Arms, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
I'm not sure, man. I don't know I didn't know what to expect. You know, I came up here to really support my brother Sonny G. You know, Mark from the soil, you know, I really don't know, you know, too many of these people or whatever, but, you know, but anytime there's reparations, you know, that's always a good thing, especially if it's lineage based. You know, I pretty much been to every single lineage based event that's been had in Washington, D.C. I know there's another one coming up here pretty soon too. So I've been at all of them, you know, and I just really came up to, you know, I literally live like, you know, not too far from here. I came up to like really support you guys and just kind of see what was going on. And, you know, you guys have been putting in work, you know, FRCC. I'm actually a part of the Virginia Reparations Compliance Committee. So, you know, it's cool to come up here and, you know, and break bread with you, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And what does reparations mean to you?
Oh, man, reparations means lineage base. Reparations in the United States, you know, reparations in the United States means lineage base. Reparations means, you know, restoring justice to the ancestors, at least partially. You know, we can never really quantify, you know, what we're truly owed as descendants, but, you know, we can at least, the acknowledgement is everything. So I think that reparations means acknowledgement first and foremost. That acknowledgement has never been formally addressed. You know, so yeah, and you know, it's never been formally addressed, and you know, damage has been done, and yeah, you know, reparations means everything. You know, it should be the single most important thing on your mind as a Black American. You know, as a Black American, that should be your number one agenda right now. You know, some people say that it's like, you know, have different feelings about it and stuff like that, but I personally feel like that should be like the number one priority, because we already know that, like, you know, the black dollar is what we're going to be, what we're at zero in the next, like, you know, 25 to 30 years. So yeah, it's very important, you know. And then I have a daughter too. It's funny because we right here in front of MLK, and I have kids, you know, and I got kids that look up to me. You know, I do the AAU thing, so it's always nice. I always see the black and white videos out here in front of the Lincoln. And I always say, like, you know, I wish I would have been there, you know. So, you know, I want the documentation to show that, like, you know, I was there to support, especially, like, again, for the FRCC. I'm really here for the FRCC. That's why I'm here. Like, like, you guys been putting in work down in Florida, Mark and Sonny. Like, you know, Sonny been my brother for many years. So, you know, I told him that I was gonna go off script. I told him I was gonna go off script. So this might be my brother. We've been through thick and thin. So I'm always gonna be there to support you, man. You know that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And can you tell us a little bit more about Bear Arms Academy? We know Bear Arms Academy is a black, you know, two-way program, you know, to really educate Black Americans about their two-way rights. Can you give us a little bit of breakdown how important it is for Black Americans to have two-way rights and to practice your two-way rights? You know, and a little bit of information about the Bear Arms Academy.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, the Bear Arms Academy. Now, we take all customers now. We take all customers, white, brown, black. Like we're a minority coalition. And so, like, let me stop. No, we take all money, all right? But, yeah, we're definitely a Black-owned firearms training company. And, you know, one of the things that inspired me to start the company was our connection with the Second Amendment as in terms of liberation with Black Americans. The Second Amendment has been a big part of our, you know, to help us with our liberation movement, going back to Ida B. Wells. You know, she said that, you know, a Winchester 22 should be at the forefront of every Black household. You know, that's the AR-15 of its time. It's a lever action rifle that, you know, boom, pump, shoot. So, you know, so she would have been in favor of the modern day AR-15, which is another subject. But yeah, so yeah, you know, the Black Panthers, you know, we talk about, you know, Fannie Lou Hamer. We talk about, the Deacons of Defense. You know, Martin Luther King, as a matter of fact, who stood right here and gave the I'll Have a Dream speech, applied for his carry concealed weapons permit in Alabama and was denied. So, you know, yeah, like the Second Amendment, like that's a big part of our liberation. So I just really strongly and passionately committed in all good sport. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I started it in 2020. We are. I know. I'm sorry. I'm long-winded, brother. We are. I know. Well, we're 4 years in running. We're a successful company. We do well. We do first aid training. We do CPR. You know, and we do training mainly in the state of Virginia and the state of Maryland. But I'm available and accessible to all states across the country.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, man, you heard it.
I'm ready.
Yo, what's going down? Peace, family. What's good? This is your brother Sonny G with the FRCC. We out here in Washington, D.C. at the Save the Negro demonstration. We got my good sis Ish out here stomping outside with it. Sis Ish, what does the Save the Negro demonstration mean to you?
It means preservation of the culture, of the identity, of the legacy of Black American people, the American Negro. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's a combination of carrying the torch. We must carry the torch that our ancestors lit, and we must walk in the path that they paved to keep their legacy alive, but also to add to that legacy. That's what Save the Negro means to me.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And what does reparations mean to you?
Reparations is a debt owed. Reparations is remittances. I don't think that anything could ever accumulate to what has happened to our people, but reparations is a start. It is an opportunity for our people to have an equitable chance at life, at extinguishing white supremacy from every facet of Black life. That's reparations for me.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I got one more question for you. Because I talk to you all the time, on Twitter Spaces. It's one of my favorite. She be cooking. How important is it for us to go outside and to actually be active in this movement?
It's very important. What is it? Faith without works is dead. I mean, that's something that can absolutely be applied in the movement, in activism, in advocacy. You don't have to go by the nomenclature of that, but go outside, talk to your people, see who you can help. There's work to be done all over this country. Black Americans live in every state, and there are people that need things. There's work to be done. So doing is just as equally as important as saying and making the effort. Even when you're not necessarily in the most comfortable place to do it, find a way. Find a way.
That's a fact. I got one more. I said I had one. I got one more because you be standing on it in the spaces. How important is it for us to gatekeep our culture? We know we be kind of going back and forth with different people outside of the lineage, on Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. We be, trying to hold down the culture and stuff like that. How important is it for Black Americans to, gatekeep our culture?
It's incredibly important. So one of the things that is intertwined with our genocide is the propaganda of erasure. Refusing an equitable means to give Black Americans credit and their just due for the things that we've created, we've innovated, the things that we've built, right? And that's important because one of the aspects of the warfare that's happening against us that's causing the harms is to erase our accomplishments, is to erase what we've built, is to erase the legacy that built this country. And without the American Negro, there is no America. So.
Hey, that's a fact, man. Y'all heard it here first, man. Your brother Sonny G, my good sis Ishmael. We out here, Washington, D.C. Save the Negro, signing out.